Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS news for the 30th of July 2022. Sadly, no tutorial video this week. I'm continuing to wrestle with Hornet bugs. I thought they were fixed, but sadly there are now different bugs with the harpoon that's kind of holding me back. And also I'm a little bit ill. And so, you know, I spent a bunch of time mucking around with it and reached my limit, basically, for the day, and thought I would just cut my losses and go straight to doing the DCS news instead. Matt Jones, did you see my TM F18 stick mod on the Rasbom Discord? I did not, but please pop it into the chat. So yeah, I'm a little bit funky today, so I may from time to time mute like I'm going to do now. There we go, and I'll try and save you from any of those sounds. Rackret, welcome to the stream. Fall Trevor, welcome. Paul, Echo, Storm Kimbari, David Flute, Tog, welcome, and Clint S, welcome to the stream. And for some reason, the moment I start the stream, I immediately need to cough. So, without any further ado, let's bring on board the one and only dotChuckles, so we can talk about the news. Hello. dotChuckles.
Keep your fucking germs away from me, you plague carrier.
I know. Oh, it's bad. Well, you know, there's quite a distance between us right now, so I think we'll be safe.
Yeah. Just don't cough into the mic, and then you might infect my ears or something like that.
It's like a digital transmission of some degree.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm probably going to be struggling a little bit during the stream today, but dotChuckles, as always, is here, and he will save me from myself.
Yeah. Like, I'm really glad you can't digitally transmit viruses, you know, like this, because it would be bad, because then you just end up getting the clap from your porn collection. So,
well, that's true. Bad things would happen. This reminds me of the new modern rebooted Battlestar Galactica, where they had this concept that viruses could be transmitted through Cylon reincarnation as in digital form, which didn't make any sense to me, and I thought was silly.
Yeah.
Cool. Welcome to the stream. Stieglitz, good morning. Tog, I'm spreading it to the YouTubes. Yes, I am. I am in effect a viral YouTube-born infection.
Yeah. And I'm actually feeling a little bit under the weather today as well. So, what a fine picture of health we all are. Oh, anyway,
it's the time of year for it.
Do this?
Absolutely. As always, let's begin with the newsletter. Dear fighter pilots, partners, and friends, it is with great pleasure that we announce the development of the Kola Peninsula map for DCS. This one took me rather by surprise. I had no idea this was in the works. Orbex Simulation Systems is creating a map of the northern tip of Europe. Please read the details. We also present progress on new pilot animations for the H-64D. We're improving the range of movements and capabilities of the pilot and co-pilot gunner, 3D models. We've prepared a preview animation for you, just for you. Exclusively from today until the 5th of August, you may purchase DCS the channel map and receive the entire World War II asset pack absolutely free with a purchase of channel map. So I guess they're trying to drum up sales for that one. So here we go. Kola map. In collaboration with Orbex Simulation Systems, a name that we know very well from Microsoft Flight Simulator, and X-Plane, in fact, we're excited to announce the development of a new terrain module, the Kola Peninsula. Orbex has over 15 years of experience creating highly detailed scenery and airports for flight simulation platforms. From Russia, the mostly ice-free ports of the Murmansk area, home of the Northern Fleet, are of immense strategic importance. Thus, the narrow land corridor from the Kola Peninsula to central Russia has evolved into dense clusters of military airfields and bases. Similarly, the northern areas of Norway, Sweden, and Finland mirror the military and economic importance of this peninsula, with significant bases for all branches of the respective armed forces, and extensive training ranges hosting key exercises for Western alliances. Excellent.
This was a surprise. Yeah, surprise. Two things. I wasn't expecting a new map, so that was surprise one, and surprise two was that Orbex has climbed into the DCS melee
Yeah.
Which is pretty damn cool because I'm familiar with their work in flight sim, and it is of the highest order. So I'm fully expecting that we're going to see some really nice stuff with this map.
I also suspect that that will be the case. We've already got some images of their assets here, which look pretty good. We've got this, which I think is showing us different airfield locations and other bits and bobs. Yep, here we go. This is how I guess they're generating the maps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a nice work in progress picture.
So there's just a question in chat. Clint S is asking to explain the hype, because not everybody plays Hornet Flight Sim. So Orbex came out the gate in FSX, I think. I don't think they were doing stuff for Microsoft Flight Sim 98. And what they did was they concentrated on smaller areas, but in hyper realism, they leveraged the technology of FSX more than anybody else did at the time, and produced very accurate, very detailed, very detailed sceneries around specific airports. Probably the Orbex stuff in like FSX, which you got to consider was back in what that came out in what 2000.
It's early 2000s, yeah.
Early 2000s. Like some of the Orbex sceneries looked as good as Microsoft Flight Sim does today. 20 years on, so it was a big deal. Everybody sort of went crazy for it, and they've kind of really improved their methodology and way of doing things, and they've now sort of expanded the kind of size of sceneries that they're doing, where it's like whole regions and stuff. It's sort of very, very fine detail. So they're really good, really, really good.
This is going to be really interesting. Well, for me as well, of course, because I actually live in Sweden, although not this far north. So it'll be really rather cool to kind of see their representation of this fair land, and because there is. Go ahead.
Okay. No, you go.
There is a specific look that Sweden has from the air, which I'm quite familiar with, flying over it quite a lot in the real world. So I'd be quite excited to see how well that's mimicked in the sim.
So the what I was gonna say is that it would have been really good if we could have just sneaked a little bit more on the southern border of this map,
yes.
and get like. Well, actually, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a little bit more. It would be about double the size. But to get the Baltics in would have been awesome.
Yeah.
This
is a huge area already.
Yeah. The North Cape's massive. So we could probably be just be bloody grateful for what you're getting. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we were talking before we came on air as well that this is a little bit of a return to some old school roots. Now we couldn't quite remember if it was F-22 or if it was EF-2000. Because we know that the sequel Eurofighter Typhoon was set in Iceland, but one of those first two had a North Cape map.
Could be both, in fact.
Could be both. I'm struggling to remember which one, but I do remember it was quite cool for its time. Back digital integration doing their thing with this map. So yeah, a little bit. Little bit of nostalgia creeping in when I first saw the North Cape. It took me right back to the sort of early to mid 90s straight away.
Oh yeah. No, I'm very much looking forward to this. This is going to be pretty cool. And I guess at this stage we don't know. Well, actually, there's a bit more detail that I've not given yet. Here we go. Let me continue the description. The Kola map will cover more than 550,000 square kilometers of land across northern Scandinavia and northwestern Russia, plus large sections of the Norwegian Sea and Barents Sea for naval operations. So better give us some submarines. Detailed air bases included with the initial release of the Kola map will be Bodø, I know that one, Bardufoss, Evenes, Rovaniemi, that's going to be Finnish, Luleå, that's Sweden, Vidsel, I'm going to be murdering all of these. Monchegorsk, Olenia, Severomorsk 1 and 3, and others. They will be modelled in their contemporary configuration. Beyond airfields, many of the important army and naval bases, test ranges, radar and storage sites will be added, as well as the entire road and railroad network. Civilian points of interest will also be represented, including key buildings, bridges, hydro dams, power plants, port facilities, and vertical obstructions. Dramatic fjords and glaciers with many islands creates an interesting coastline. The lake-studded taiga forests and Arctic tundra complete the natural beauty of this region. Both summer and winter versions of the Kola map are planned. The Orbex team is collaborating with experienced DCS campaign creators Baltic Dragon and Reflected Simulations to create engaging FA-18C and F-16C campaigns at launch. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I know that for Norway, Bodø in the far north is a large military airfield, so that's going to be an interesting one.
Interestingly, I think is it Bodø and Bardufoss have historical connections to the RAF Harrier Force.
Okay. Yes, that's right.
They did their northern training up there.
That's right.
So yeah, so for us Harrier boys, that's pretty cool. Well, in fact, I think like a lot of Royal Air Force stuff happened up there. They did some. Sorry about that. They did they did a few things. So that's pretty damn cool, actually. Yeah. It's an exciting map, definitely.
Oh yes, just to answer Bill's question there. Yes, this is a paid map, and it will be coming. It sounds like with at least 2 campaigns. That's pretty cool. Very nice. Then we move on to the H64D animations. You were commenting on this one just before we went live.
Yeah. It's funny because the Apache is notoriously difficult to get in and out of. So there's the animation proving it. You kind of got to sit on there, got to wiggle your butt, got to move your way around the M4, and then jump out.
Yes.
So it's nice to see. Nice to see that animation getting a little bit of attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stiggy Wiggy commenting there, as much as more maps is cool, I want the weather update more. Absolutely. And as I understand it, the weather update is coming quite soon, so you'll be getting that one.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The weather update's pretty important. I mean, whilst the weather that we have in DCS looks fantastic, it doesn't move. It's entirely cosmetic. It's a bit poor from that point of view, you know. So, and again, it was very much a lot like other sims when Microsoft Flight Sim hit the market and everybody saw the weather and that and went, oh my god. Everybody needed to up their game really, really quickly, so they did a whole bunch of cosmetic stuff just to make things look good. But actually, DCS didn't really give us a proper weather system. So
no, that's true. Can we get out of our planes? Well, yes. For most of the helicopters, if you're on the ground and you do the triple tap of Control E to eject, your crew disembark. So yes, you can. You can't control them after they're out, but they can get out. Tog, we can skip the channel update. World War II and all that. No, we'll mention it. We'll mention it. But yeah, on the Apache animations, what they say is we're improving the pilot and co-pilot gunner animations. Above you can see the preview of the CPG onboarding. These animations are work in progress, and we look forward to sharing more soon. And then we've got the channel. From the 29th of July until the 5th of August, you can grab the DCS World War II Assets Pack for free with the purchase of DCS the Channel Map from our eShop. Take advantage of this fabulous opportunity to improve Second World War immersion levels with an ever-growing list of air, land, and sea assets.
So this is a bugbear, right? This is just it's. Why should we have to have paid for that assets pack in the first place? Like, really? That should have come with the World War II maps.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, it just feels like a bunch of nickel and diming. And yeah, I think it's nonsense. So it's great that you can now go and get it for free.
If
But
you
it
pay
really
money.
should have been free. It should have been free all along. You
Yeah.
know, and yeah, free. You can get it for free if you pay some money.
Yeah, yeah. But like, to take a look at
like,
the Razbam's South Atlantic asset pack that they gave to the entire community for free, that's way more the way it should have been done.
yeah, and I mean, like the China assets pack as well. Like that should have been, you know,
That's
for
also free.
supposedly. That was paid for a while, wasn't it? I thought that was paid for.
My understanding is no, the China asset pack is free.
Okay,
and,
all right,
it's a part of the base install as well, which is nice.
Okay, I stand corrected to that. You know, but yeah, this the World War II assets pack, horse shit that we had to pay for that. Absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
You know, and it's for a free to play game. Let's just DCS free to play. My hairy obese fucking ass.
gotta make their pennies somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh well. Moving on, we got a nice video from our good chums at Heatblur. Oops, is that? Oh, there is no audio on this actually, and it's a bunch of you might wonder whether or not this is in sim or not. No, this is the real world footage of some of the Phantom F4s that they've been poring over in order to create their fantastic simulation.
Yeah, like this video looks amazing, but it was a fuck up on a couple of fronts in that they posted it on Facebook. Fuck up number one, and it's got no audio, which is weird. I was sitting there going, "Why is there no sound? Like this really should have sound. Like just even some music. Come on."
Yeah, although it's good for me because it means I can play it in its entirety for you all exactly as they intended.
How sexy! Oh my god, I can't wait for the Phantom. And I mean this kind of stuff, you know, just getting all this detail work, and sort of really focusing in on the, you know, the nitty gritty. I mean, like they don't have to prove themselves because, you know, just look at the F14 and look how detailed the F14 is. So, you know, they don't have anything to prove. They've already proved themselves, but it's nice to see. It's nice to see that that's what they're doing.
Yes, I totally agree. I'm just playing this again while we talk over the top of it. I was having a little smile to myself thinking about the guys in this video who, you know, they were probably doing all of this stuff for a whole day, and then at some point the camera crew came along and said, "Okay, now just pretend to do that bit again, and I'll film you."
Yeah,
which I've had to do that so many times. Where it's like
I know.
I'm sitting at my desk. It's like, okay, have a conversation with that guy. I'm like, okay, will there be audio or will I just say nonsense words?
Yeah, the amount of times I've had to ask people to do that as well. You know, and one of the things is as well, especially with sort of documentary making, is that when you sort of when somebody makes a discovery and you film them making the discovery, it's like, cool. Can we now film you making that discovery for the first time again?
Yeah, you have to be sitting there at your desk,
surprised. Try and look surprised again. Cool. Thanks.
Brilliant. And yes, it's not a typhoon or a tornado
for
that matter. So yeah, their post said capturing every last detail is key to our process. Over the last years, we visited many Phantoms around the world to make sure we can get it right. Here's what a rainy day visit last winter to the wonderful Slovakian Air Museum looked like. So, that's pretty cool. Nice post. Moving on.
It's a bit of a legend. It's a bit of a legend as the F4, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, totes. Totes. So, we then had 3 open beta updates in the time between when we last had a DCS news stream and now. Actually, just a quick one. David asking, is there an EE Lightning still in the works somewhere? My understanding is that yes, Razbam are working on that. They have shown early external renders, but I don't know how far beyond that they are. I get the impression they're just at the modelling stage. So, we had the first big open beta update, which came on the 21st of July, and the main ticket item here for us was the inclusion of the DCS Mirage F1. Have you had a chance to take that up for a spin as yet, dotChuckles?
Not yet. It's on the list of things I need to do, but it's busy times at the moment. So,
yep.
Yeah.
I like that Bull sniped me, saying, "Oh, it's probably on Razbam's never-ending list," and not realizing that it actually is on Razbam's never-ending list.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's on the list.
I mean, whilst their list is very, very long, it is not as long as certain other people's lists that are no longer appearing in this film. That we're not allowed to mention ever again.
Well, we are allowed to mention them, but I think we overdid it for a while. But people who've been watching us for any period of time will know who we're hinting at.
We were talking about it.
Yeah. But big one here, the inclusion of the DCS Mirage F1. I also sadly have not flown it yet because I was away when this came out, and since I came back, I've been ill. But I do intend to grab this ASAP because I think Aegis are brilliant. I think their C101 is brilliant, and I can only assume this is also going to be brilliant. So, very, very excited. Stiggy Wiggy, as a South African, I decided to skip the F1. Why would you skip the F1? As a South African, they flew it, didn't they?
Yeah, the CZ. Yeah, like I say, that's why I've been excited for it, because I have, being South African as well, I have a family connection to the aircraft, so it's like, I want to fly with that. I mean, okay, different type, but
yeah, pretty similar, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So yes, there's a new auxiliary panel that's been implemented in the mission editor for World War II weapons, and it allows you to change the bomb fuses, which it sounds kind of interesting. I know that Eagle are also working on implementing all the features for the electronic fuses, the modern day fuses, and some of that is already in the F-16. Huh?
Sorry, I'm just giggling away at chat. Kind of like, it would be nice to fly a Typhoon from Wish, and somebody's like, that's the Gripen. The Gripen is a Typhoon from Wish.
Yes.
Is the Gripen what you get when your mum says we've got Typhoon at home?
Pretty much, yeah. Gripen is the E model is very, very nice and very, very capable, but it's not a Typhoon.
The Gripen is pretty fucking awesome, actually, but it's fun. It's fun to jape.
Rafale is Walmart? I've never heard that. My understanding is that the Rafale is very, very good. Yeah. Excellent. Rusty C, hey you guys, I'm on a massive Civi aviation sim at the moment. Oh well, whenever you return to the wondrous DCS, just let us know. Rusty's a member of 3 Squadron in VAF. Fair.
Nothing wrong with some Civi flying. I have been very much enjoying the Phoenix A320. It's absolute bloody masterpiece.
Me too.
So yeah, nothing wrong with that. Anyway, we were in the middle of the the fuses. Yes.
Oh, actually, they even mentioned this. Note: we're also working on new fuses and fuse and laser code selection panel for modern day weapons. This includes the JPF, the DSU 33A and B, FZU 139, and others. This is actually we'll talk about it further down. But yeah, the Harrier at last properly simulates the laser codes for laser guided bombs now as well. You have to get the ground crew to set them before you take off, which is cool. Whereas before, they just magically were always correct. So yeah, a bunch of new assets have been added into DCS World. Corrected weights and so on. A whole bunch of cool stuff like that. FA-18C Hornet gets gun sparks, which is cool. I watched the video where they demonstrated this, and I didn't know anything about this. This whole gun sparks thing, apparently this is something specific to the Hornet, and when I saw the video of it, it looks massively overdone to my eye, but I don't know what it's supposed to look like. I've never seen a real Hornet fire its gun, or guns, sorry.
So I've seen a video of a static test, where they chain the aircraft down, disable the safety, and for I think they do it for bore sighting and zeroing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Gets done every now and then. And I've seen one being done in the late evening, and it is pretty like, whoa, okay, that's a lot of stuff coming out of that gun. That isn't just bullets. So it's quite impressive. So yeah, it is a thing. Okay. I don't know, but again, that was like, one of those things where, they set it up because they knew it was going to look cool and it was done on a professional camera, and they'd stop the iris down a little bit so that it would really sort of make the sparks like jump out. So like, I don't know if there was like a bit of kind of, DP jiggery pokery going on, but
Yeah, Stiggy Wiggy saying it looks like anime gunfire. Yeah, to my eye it looks a bit much, but I'm prepared to believe that it's entirely accurate. Maybe that's just what the Hornet looks like when it fires its gun. Also adjusted detection and lock radar range. There's been a bit of back and forth with both the F-18 and the F-16 around about kind of their detection ranges and capabilities with the radars, and apparently they're starting to kind of hone in on the realism now, and it's getting a bit better, because for a long time both radars were basically just space magic, and then they kind of nerfed them, and now they're coming back towards reality again.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yep. So yeah, there was that, and then a bunch of fixies for the F-18. On the F-16, we get the airshow smoke at last. We also get the GFS door animations. Our man Northman will be happy about that. Although apparently the timing's a little bit off on them, but I'm sure they'll tweak that as time goes on. A whole bunch of additions. Actually, this one was really cool. I saw a video about this one. HSD threat ring color changes. So once you're inside a threat ring, it turns red, which is quite cool, and that's a feature from the real aircraft. And let me see here. Some fixies, a whole load of fixies, in fact. So we probably won't cover all of that. Apache, your personal preference. They got a whole load of stuff going on here.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff. Nothing catastrophically kind of, oh my god, that's awesome. But there's a few things that's good. Some further desync squashing going on. In terms of animations, fixes to the LMC, the linear motion compensator, which is, really, if you're flying the Apache, it's a critical system that a lot of people just don't know how to use, because you think, oh, it's weird, why is it doing that? But it's actually like totally key to being able to be accurate with the gun, and actually just, saving yourself a crap ton of work once you understand it and you want to sort of track stuff. So that's had some fixes, various symbology updates and things like that. So it's a bit of a grab bag of kind of like, cool, yes, but indeed. Nothing that's like, oh my god, that's a game changer. So.
And still seeing a lot of fixies, so clearly still in a very active phase of development, which is good.
Yeah, there's a few things to come still. Yeah, there's a few things to come still. So
I like fixed gun jiggling.
Jiggling, yeah.
It's a problem I suffer from myself. It's good to see that they've got that one addressed.
Yeah, but I do quite enjoy gun jiggling, so
don't we all?
Yeah. Okay. So, and then the Hind. Did we not get door gunners for the Hind recently?
We did, in fact, in this patch. So added rear cabin cord machine gun place, multi-crew, and AI gunner capable. They've also improved Petrovic's ability to identify targets, which is something they also did for George in this patch. What else is exciting? The AI interface has been refactored, and then a bunch of fixies. So yeah, kind of cool stuff. Super Carrier, they fixed the Stennis radar dish spinning too fast. This is a good one. They've updated the 3D model for the airboss room, hopefully in preparation for us actually being able to occupy it, which is something we've been promised for a long time now. Anything else exciting? Nope, not particularly. And then a bunch of fixies for a whole load of the other modules. F14 Tomcat added the ability to remove the refueling probe door. This is apparently something they did in real life because they were worried about it coming loose and getting ingested into the engine. And so sometimes they would just, if they were worried about it, they'd just take the damn thing off. The F14 is now as an AFAC role, assignable in the mission editor. They've changed the AIM-54 navigation again. Added the missing liquid oxygen gauge in the front pilot's panel. Apparently they didn't have any good references for where that should be and what it should look like until now, and so now it's in the game. Tweaks to the autopilot. Yeah, and then a whole bunch of fixies. So yeah, the F14 continuing to get a lot of love, and still a whole load of stuff to be added. They said in a recent update that they're intending to actually implement the thing that was on there. I forget exactly what they call it. It has a fancy marketing name, but basically the fact that every cockpit will be slightly different and will wear and tear and blah blah blah. They say they're actually they're actually that's coming together, and we will actually be getting it soon. So that's quite exciting.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So when you spill your coffee getting in at the jet, that stain will stay.
Yes. Oh dear. Argument 1616.
Yeah. Okay. So how do we practically use argument 1616? I believe you can trigger animation arguments in script.
Yes. Yeah. You need to do it from script. Yeah. So yeah, it's not. Sadly, it's not something you can just click on a tick box in the mission editor. You'll need to actually do a minimal amount of coding in the kind of triggers and scripts bit. But I'm sure someone in the forums will have already posted the lines of code that you can copy paste into your mission to make it happen.
I mean, it'll be as simple as a one trigger on mission start, bang, done. Yeah,
exactly.
Interesting, but yes, that it's not like they haven't decided to bring that over into the special options of.
Or even, I would suggest just do it in the mission editor, because you want it to vary from aircraft to aircraft.
That's true, actually. Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be in the mission editor, but sadly no, for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's easy enough to do with script.
Yep, exactly. And Iceman continuing to get a lot of love here. So yeah, really, really cool to see. So yeah, this is great. I'm very excited about this. Fixed the droopy emergency brake handle. I don't even know what that means, but I like it. Oh dear.
That like, in that somebody should have changed that change log to fluffed emergency brake.
Yeah, totally. Vigan still continuing to get love, which is nice to see. Completely overhauled the landing gear suspension, fixed the traction. Ground crew can now be called from a ground start. Bunch of other stuff. Really nice.
And of course, we're now going to get the North Cape, so that's like the Vigans' hunting ground. There we go.
That's where the Vigan lives.
Yeah.
Yep, totally. And we've got a couple of small items for the Harrier. Sadly, because of the Strike Eagle, Harrier development is pretty slow these days, but we are continuing to get fixies, which is nice. There were some problems with steer point elevation that are now fixed, and now the laser codes. Actually, that's an interesting one. So, like, most of the laser codes you need to set on the ground, but it's actually saying that certain laser codes, certain bombs, are adjustable in flight. GBU-12 and GBU-16, it mentions, can actually be adjusted in flight, so they must have a smart rack connection to allow you to do that, I guess. That's cool. Mirage 2000C continuing to see lots and lots of work. I couldn't even possibly cover a fraction of this. This is like a whole A4 page worth.
There's some cool stuff in it, though.
Yeah.
Regarding the damage and engine damage. Added physically based performance degradation, over temp engine damage, engine fires, main and afterburner, cascading engine damage. Exploding compressors can cause other damage. Engine damage with high Mach and cones retracted. This is all cool stuff, right? I wonder if this is coming out of their work with the L'Armée de Air, because if they're wanting to simulate failures, because I know they're using this as quite a prominent desktop trainer. So
Yeah. No,
I wonder
I
if
would
that's where this
suspect
has
it's
come from.
exactly that. This must be
Yeah.
coming out of their work with the French Air Force, and it's really cool. Really cool to see this. I'm wondering what else actually was in here, because there's so much stuff. Fuel dumping trails are now present.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of really good stuff there. GF17 continuing to get a whole load of fixies. Nothing added in this patch, but a whole load of cool stuff. And that's pretty much it, I think. There's nothing really else of note. The one cool one, if you have the South Atlantic Asset Pack, which I guess all of us do, added ski ramp static object for aircraft to practice takeoffs on land.
Whoa! Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Or chuck Reliant Robins off.
Yes, that would also be quite fun. It also added the Nodding Donkey 3D model, so you can have them wherever you want, which is pretty cool. And then speaking of the South Atlantic map, added a whole load of new airfields. Well, two. Pampa Guanaco and San Julian. That's pretty cool. And they're still working on the terrain detail maps. Yes. So, a pretty solid patch, and it was one of 3 that we got in quick succession.
Yeah.
Next one we had was mostly a hotfix. So, bunch of fixies. There were fixed crash in avionics is listed for the F-16, the Apache, and then there was actually the very first hotfix for the Mirage F1, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
Totally, understandable that an aircraft just entering early access would have some little tweaks to be made, fixies to be made.
And nice to see the patch coming out quickly rather than having to wait with the pain.
This was just a matter of days afterwards. That's pretty cool. And already additions showing up here as well. Animated control stick trim hat and autopilot controls. Added animation of gun trigger, trigger cover, missile button. Option to choose between realistic and simplified firing safety logic. So that's interesting. Modify afterburner detent position. Logic and animation for gun safety lock. Several country and default liveries added, and added a few South Atlantic map missions, so that's pretty fast. And that was pretty much it. And then again on the 29th, we got another very small hotfix, and it was really just to fix some crashes. Not really much more than that. Harrier, the wording is misleading. GBU 16 and 12, you need to set the laser code while engine off, like you would with the APKWS. Okay, that's fair enough then. So that's really good to see. Adds a bit of realism, because the Harrier was a bit kind of fake in that regard, in that it didn't matter what laser code was set on your bombs, they always worked, which is a bit rubbish. So, nice to see that getting resolved.
Yeah. Raspam. We have a
excuse me.
interlude whilst Deepneck dies.
Exactly. I'm still suffering a little bit, but I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
And Stiggy Wiggy quite correctly says there were a bunch of clips released for the F15E and the multifunction displays. Actually, it wasn't the multifunction displays, it was the UFC. There's a series of 3 videos that have been posted which detail exactly how the UFC works. And I have to say, it looks like pretty much all the functionality of that UFC is implemented and working, which is really good to see. It was pretty cool. And in the F-15, even more so than most aircraft, of course, all aircraft that have a UFC, the UFC is the primary way of interfacing with the aircraft. But in the F-15, it just feels so much more so. Like whenever you want to do anything with the aircraft, really the primary mechanism is directly through the UFC, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep.
So, recommend having a peek at those. A lot of really cool stuff to see. Yeah, what else happened? I guess we were away last week. This is us just back now, hopefully returning to normal service going forwards, and also hopefully I'll get back to doing tutorial videos. I'm probably just going to have to leave the Hornet for a little bit longer and just go off and do some other things. Something that I'm quite interested in doing, and it'd be good to see what chat thinks about this, is I have an interest in going over some of the community modules, in particular things like the Super Tucano, the A4, the C130, the Black Hawk, and even just do some kind of quick first impression videos, or like just show like startup, takeoff, circuit landing, that kind of stuff in all of these aircraft. If chat would find that interesting.
Yeah, I think so. I'd certainly find it interesting because I think it would be good to give some of these community mods a bit more of a showcase.
Yeah.
Because we funnily enough we had our general meeting of the VAF on Thursday.
That is true.
One of the things that was discussed was kind of barrier to entry with DCS, and how we could encourage. Well, I mean, this was with the view to encouraging new members in the VAF. That it's a bit of a hurdle to get over. That you've got to buy maps, and then you've got to buy modules, and like that's really, really expensive. And then to be able to sort of say to people, well, actually, there's this module, and it's free, and it's really good. And here's a series of tutorials on how you do stuff with it. Like, I think that would be good.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, I think I'd like to tackle the Super Tucano first, because I'm personally very interested in that module. It's far from being complete, but I think it's already in a state where it can realistically be used for many different types of mission, and it's also a very competent AFAC. I think it has the FLIR pod, the kind of ball style FLIR pod that you see on helicopters. It has one of those, which is cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome stuff. I think that's a good idea. It would be I think it would be good to highlight some low barrier to entry aircraft.
Yeah. And Fair quite rightly pointing out the A4 is also a great mod. I think the A4, when it comes to community mods, is the most complete, the most detailed. It's also the only one that I've seen, I think, that has a professional flight model, an external flight model.
Very good flight model.
Yeah, really, really, really quite well put together. And also it has a very, very early kind of INS, which operates a bit like the guidance computer in the Apollo capsule. Like, you kind of press buttons and type in codes and things like that. It's very, very old school.
Nouns and verbs.
Yeah, it's maybe not quite like, but it gives me that vibe. It's like so incredibly old school, and it has a steer point capacity of 2. So the way that it's normally used is that you either have your target and your home airfield, or you have a target and an alternative target, and you just have to use TACAN to get back home.
Yeah. I tell you what though, the A4 flight model, really impressive, and it taught me some stuff, because I took it up, and I was throwing it around, and I was just having this insane roll rate, like absolutely insane, and I knew it was I knew it was fast. Like I knew the A4 could like twinkle roll quite effectively.
Yeah.
But I thought, this can't be right. This feels really, really arcade. No. And then I went and researched it and found out it has a 900 degree per second roll rate.
Yeah. Like, it is absolutely possible for the pilot to be knocked out or to lose consciousness just because of G-forces, just by rolling the aircraft.
Yeah. And I went and did some reading, and there was people sort of talking about, going max deflection and basically the side of the canopy smashing them in the side of the head and like just pretty much rendering them senseless. And then when they stopped the roll rate, their head smashing into the other side of the canopy. Like, it was bonkers, absolutely bonkers, and it's really well modeled in the sim. So like I say, initially I thought this is an arcade game. What the fuck? This isn't right. Nope, totally accurate.
Yep.
Totally accurate.
Just do yourself a favor and be very careful in VR rolling the A4.
Oh God, yeah. Let's go for a max rate roll.
Yep. Be careful.
Yeah.
So, of course, as part of that discussion, we mentioned the VAF. Is this perhaps the time when we should pimp the VAF?
Possibly, but I was going to talk about the fact and get your opinion actually, and
do.
maybe chat's opinion. So I have had the trusty Virpil Mongoose gimbal
Yes.
since it came out, and it's been absolutely solid. But I've used it so much that the cam has got notched almost.
Ooh.
So there's like clicking going on and all sorts of things, and I've opened it up several times and stuff like that. And in theory, it could be some stuff's loosened off, and I need to go and open it up. Or I could buy a new gimbal.
Never miss an excuse to buy cool new kit.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if anybody's used the new updated Virpil gimbal. And what their experience of it is, or is it time to look at another gimbal? I mean, I love the Virpil gimbal and it's compatible with all my stuff, but is it time to maybe look at something else? I don't know.
Yeah, actually, this is a good point that Fair raises. This was just in the news today, I think it was. I can't remember. Virpil is opening a distribution center in the US.
Yeah, which is fantastic because their stuff is amazing quality. We're not sponsored by Virpil, but
no, we just like it.
We might as well would be, because both our kit is Virpil across the board, and just love their stuff. Yeah, so I don't know.
There are a lot of options these days as well. When it comes to flight sim hardware, there's so many new manufacturers, so many new options. So there is a lot to try out.
So the force sensing stuff, absolutely. I mean, if you're going with if you're looking at the F16, and you've got the money, because it's a pricey bit of kit, that the force sensing stuff's an absolute no-brainer. But I like to waggle my stick, so
Absolutely, don't we all?
Yeah.
I'm very happy with my my T50 Virpil with the extension. I've got it so that it's got the same kind of through as a real combat stick. It's good. Very, very nice.
Yeah, a lot of people saying the gunfighter is really good. VKP better than the Virpil, but just slightly. However, you're stuck with VKB's proprietary connector, then there is that. And yeah, although I think you can. No, I don't think you can adapt it, but hey. I'm probably going to just end up going for the latest
latest and greatest Virpil.
Yeah. It's a nice bit of kit anyway, so yeah. I won't disappoint.
Okay, that's cool. Well, moving on then, let's speak of the VAF, the Virtual Air Force.
The VAF.
It's an online squadron that was originally formed by my good self and dotChuckles' good self, and it's a kind of opt-in milsim experience if you're wanting to go multiplayer and fly with other people in DCS. We have numbered squadrons for F14, F16, F18. Harrier, Apache, and almost certainly something I've forgotten.
No, I think that's it. Although the Apache's kind of in limbo at the moment. So, but yeah, and we've got an exciting future, I think. Because like I was saying earlier, we had our general meeting with all members this week, and there was lots of interesting discussion, lots of interesting feedback of things that we're going to be taking forward, and talking about like our next phase. We've been
I missed the A10.
Missed the A10. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're sorry, that's totally thrown me. Yeah, we've been doing the VAF in stages when me and Deepak started it, sort of phase 1, phase 2, and we're moving into phase 3 now, which probably means you're gonna see some more stuff coming out of the VAF that might not just be here. So
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Stay
stand by
tuned.
for that.
Too late now. No, we love the A10 as well. I'm very sorry. I'm in a total mind fog right now because I'm not feeling very well. So that was not a slight against the A10 Squadron. And of course, yeah, I'm squadron leader for the Harriers. dotChuckles is squadron leader for the Apaches. And we have lots of other ones. But it's also entirely possible to join the VAF and be a freelancer. There's no kind of mandatory training, and you can just come along, fly whenever you want, and fly whatever you want. On Tuesdays, we have training sessions at 8 p.m. UK time, and on Thursdays, we have mission days every week, also at 8 p.m. UK time. Tog is still waiting for the I-16 Squadron.
Been waiting a long time. And we also like people who come along and don't fly and just want to hang out and
please do
shoot the shit and talk about planes and other such nonsense.
Yes.
Everybody is welcome.
And there's a Discord link there in the chat provided by Stormcamp Barry. But also, if you're watching this after the fact, it's in the show notes below. Everyone is welcome. Please come join the Discord and speak to us. You might even catch people such as myself and dotChuckles.
Although I have been a bit under the weather for a while, so I'm a bit of a scarce unicorn around the around the Discord at the moment. But hopefully getting back to normal, and we'll be back on it and taking
like
that ugly bird up again. On it like a car bonnet. Yeah.
Yes, Bull's actually the squadron leader for the F-16s, saying, yeah, a bit of casual multiplayer fun. Why the hell not? So, that perhaps brings us to the end of the DCS news for today. It was a kind of quieter week. He's been dotChuckles, and he's actually this way. I've been Deepak. Normally, I do a tutorial video premiering at 7:30 CET or 6:30 UK time every Saturday, and that would then be followed by the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you're watching right now. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment. It's a really big help. We surpassed 5k subscribers. Let's push it to the 10. Let's go for it. We can do it. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support. It's been a really, really big help. And yeah, I guess we will see you all next time. Normal programming should resume next week at the same time. So, it just leaves us to say, fly safe, and we'll see you all next time. Ta-ta.